Hello, P Wolf Nation, and welcome back to Prairie Wolf Press. I'm Ellie Apple, and I'm here with John Haimowitz, senior catcher for the Nebraska Westland baseball team. John, thank you so much for coming today.
Thanks for having me, Ellie.
Let's get right into it. So, John, what was the recruitment process like for you? Why did you decide to come to Westland?
It's a good question. So basically, where I'm from, we had a rival school in town, and I hit with the same private hitting coach as one of the other players who was hitting with him. And so he was a year older than me. He came here for the 2018-2019 year, and that's how I got in touch. The hitting coach gave my number to the player that he had been working with for years, who then passed it on to an assistant coach, and the assistant coach then reached out to me. So it was quite the process, but yeah.
So what's it like to be the captain of the team?
It's definitely an honor for sure. I see it as like a privilege to be recognized in that way, by coaches and by teammates, and it's something that I for sure take seriously, and that I want to always improve upon as a captain and succeed in that role for my teammates, for my coaches.
So you've had a lot of coaching changes in the past year at Westland. What has that been like for you? What is the new coaching staff doing to improve the team?
Totally, yeah. Coaching changes can sometimes be tricky for sure, but the new staff with Coach Ignatowski and Coach Linsner, as well as a former player, Coach Bennett, they've all been super great in helping with that transition. I think having Coach Bennett around, who was part of the program for 5 years, really helped for some of those returning players to feel that sense of comfortability with the team. And Coach Ignatowski and Coach Linsner have done a really good job with kind of the cards that they've been dealt. They started in late January. We started practicing January 29th, and our first game was three and a half weeks after. So, in that short span of time, they've definitely done a great job with the team.
So baseball is a sport that people most likely want to play rather than watch. Do you watch baseball?
That's an interesting question. To be honest, I do not watch a lot of baseball, like professionally on TV or even college baseball. I'll sometimes watch college baseball highlights because on YouTube there's a channel that kind of compresses them all into a short 15-minute video. But I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it can be painstakingly tough to watch baseball with how long it can drag out. Yeah.
So despite conference standings, you guys are still on the hunt for making the conference tournament.
Yeah.
What do you guys need to do in games and practices in these next coming weeks to make it to that point?
Definitely, that's a good question. In practice, I just think bringing the same intensity and focus every time we show up. We have a limited amount of practices left before our final games and series. And then, hopefully if we make it past that to the conference tournament, we'll have more practices. But in those practices, we need to come with intensity and focus. And then in game, just playing a complete game of baseball. I think sometimes throughout the year, we've done really good at, for instance, like pitching and hitting in a game, but then our defense has struggled. Or in a game, we've pitched it really well and played defense well, and our hitting has kind of lacked to show up. So just playing a full, complete game of baseball and all different aspects, and that's something that the coaching staff has certainly preached to us all year about needing to play a complete game of baseball, and if we can bring it all together, then we can have success.
So have you played the position of catcher your whole life?
Yeah, definitely. Since I was 3-4 years old, I always had a catcher's mask on and crouching behind, pretending to crouch down in the living room when I did watch baseball with my dad back then. But I've definitely caught my whole life growing up, Little League, travel ball, into high school and now into college.
So what are some pressures that come with being a catcher?
Ooh, being in every pitch is for sure something that it's a pressure, but it helps me focus. I think if I tried to play any other position, I would get distracted easily, and so I think being in every pitch, you are defending home plate. You are where games are won and lost. So. Trying to block balls with guys on base, or make tag plays on plays at the plate, helping command the pitching staff and keeping the pitchers comfortable and whatnot, and just being an overall leader on the field as far as communication are some of the things that go into being a catcher.
And what has been one of your favorite memories being here at Westland on the team?
Yeah, I think my favorite memory it was last year during our 2022 season. We were at Loris. We had already lost 2 games, and my roommate Christian Harris, he's been my roommate for the last 4 years. He never had his first college hit yet, but he came up in a pinch hit opportunity and hit a go-ahead 3-run home run. And just the excitement coming out of the dugout, and his excitement running around the bases, getting his first college hit in that spot, and prevented us from being swept was one of my top memories. Just being able to experience that and see how happy he was and excited he was.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for joining us on Prairie Wolf Press, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.
Yep.